Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Good afternoon, Excellencies. Good afternoon, Honorable Minister Senzo. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Abu Baker, and thanks very much for all the preliminaries. Let me take this opportunity and welcome all your excellencies that are present in this meeting. I'm merely a facilitator. I'm not making any opening statement. That will be the duty for the excellencies that have been invited to do so. May I only express our sadness as the continent, as our various countries and all the bodies of the continent at the passing on of the President of Ghana, President Jerry Rawlings. These are indeed very sad news, not only for the people of Ghana or for people of Southern Africa, but all of us as the brothers and as of the continent. It is indeed quite a sad day for us and sad news for the continent. Having said this, once more, you're welcome to the center of Global Africa in our home, the State University of Delaware. And it is indeed quite a pleasure that we are all gathered here for the next few days in this good conference, annual conference, where we meet and share ideas and how we can continue to work together while we are elsewhere. Now, may I then therefore request to the stage His Excellency Julius Maada, President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, to make the opening statement. His Excellency.
His Excellency Joseph Leone Korea Sako, Commissioner for Rural Economy and Agriculture of the African Union Commission, Honorable Lana Max, United States Ambassador to the Republic of South Africa, Professor Isra Ahoni, Director of the Center for Global Africa at the Delaware State University, Professor Eddie Maloka, CEO of the African Peer Review Mechanism, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Permit me from the outset to thank you for the honor and very unique opportunity as President of the Republic of Sierra Leone to participate and contribute to discussions on the governance and development of the African continent. Africa is home to more than 1 billion people and home away from home, both culturally and historically, however distant or near, for hundreds of millions more in the 6th region. It is a rich and diverse community of resourceful and talented citizens, full of enthusiasm, energy, and great optimism. The 6th region that comprises people of African origin living outside the continent, irrespective of their citizenship and nationality, and who are willing to contribute to the development of the continent and the building of the African Union, is an integral part of the African continent. Its citizens, diaspora Africans, are enablers and driving forces in the socio-economic transformation of Africa as envisaged in the African Union's Agenda 2063. In spite of arguments about how the 6th region of Africa is constituted, represented, or legitimized, I would argue that the sixth region is grounded in the universality of Pan-Africanism. Its agenda and character are pluralistic, globalist, transgenerational, and essentially African. So let me welcome every one of you, distinguished excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, to this second annual CGA-APRM Pan-African Development Conference, titled Creating the Africa We Want, Creating the Sixth Region We Want, through agribusiness, research, and innovation. Let me also congratulate the African Peer Review Mechanism, our homegrown self-assessment instrument of good governance, and the Center of Global Africa, for pioneering this initiative. I also recognize further commitments to strengthen the CGA-APRM partnership. The focus of this conference on executing Joint Africa Diaspora Initiative to accelerate the AU's Agenda 2063, while simultaneously advancing diaspora interests in ways that are problem-solving, capacity-building, revenue-generating, and mutually beneficial, is something that I personally value immensely as an African leader. But this conference is also critical because it may help us design, structure, and concretize official channels and linkages for unimpeded two-way transactional activities that will help Africa and the sixth region create the Africa we want. The question is not whether both parties are willing to engage. It is how do we harness and mobilize the sixth region? How do we structure mutually beneficial and functional linkages between African countries and the sixth region? I recognize various existing formations and initiatives for continuous engagement, especially in regard to diaspora investments and knowledge transfer. I urge, however, that these should be significantly developed given the potential and opportunity for impact in the development of the continent. Continent-side, there are significant gaps in financing the AU Agenda 2063 that also aligns with Global Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. Part of our task here today, therefore, is to think through how we locate, harness, and scale up the potential of the sixth region to finance those identified gaps in Africa's development. Africa has a young and rising consumer population and a large potential market of 1.2 billion people that is suitable for different potential diaspora investment portfolios and scales. As African leaders, our task is to first lower the risk profile of our countries by improving good governance, fighting corruption, fostering national cohesion and peace, and creating an even fair and predictable and simplified investment landscape. My government has focused on addressing all the foregoing perceived challenges. Although the realities of statehood and regional economic formations are inescapable, African leaders should work towards uniformity and clarity of trade, investment, and financial regulations across the continent. They should also identify best practices and therefore design, review, and validate frameworks of engagement with the sixth region. We should also institutionalize ways of transforming sixth region remittances into investment funds that could serve various growth sectors across the continent. In most of our countries, we are working towards establishing a structured and firm bedrock for inclusive and sustainable development. In Sierra Leone, for instance, our medium-term national development plan lays out our development priorities that are moored on human capital development, access to free quality education, quality health, and food security. We also recognize that we can reduce poverty by creating jobs, lower import dependency, and enhance food security if we invest heavily in the agribusiness sector. Structured sixth region financing and expertise can support the transfer of diaspora resources, skills, and expertise, and thus develop capacity and knowledge transfer, establish growth centers and incubation hubs, and promote value addition and local manufacture. We should not also lose sight of the potential of a structured triangular cooperation nexus among countries. The sixth region and multilateral institutions that could support diaspora investments in agribusiness. We should also recognize that the fourth industrial revolution, with its implications for global trade and development, is upon us. Africa cannot afford to be at the receiving end as it was during the first, second, and third industrial revolutions. Africa should be an equal and active participant and partner. Our investment in human capital development is underpinned by this objective. Governments have a responsibility in that regard to establish the right context that will facilitate diaspora investment in innovation and technology. In Sierra Leone, for instance, I established a Directorate of Science, Technology, and Innovation to explore, develop, and deploy technology and innovation to scale in order to support governance, business, healthcare, and research. This institution is a local partner that has worked with governments, multilateral agencies, and the private sector to develop innovative technology-mediated solutions for Sierra Leone, including in managing the COVID-19 pandemic. But I also see potential for sixth region investment in knowledge transfer, innovation, and technology entrepreneurship that we develop bespoke solutions that address Africa's development challenges. So this conference is tasked with three key but interrelated tasks. How do we identify the opportunities? How do we structure linkages and investment interventions? And how do we create a conducive win-win ecosystem to support inclusive and sustainable development in Africa? Let me once more thank the APRM under the leadership of the APRM Continental Secretariat and its CEO, Professor Eddie Maloka. I wish to commend and thank Professor Maloka for his stellar work in championing this second annual CGA-APRM Pan-African Development Conference. Let me also commend the commitment and the aims of the CGA under the leadership of Professor Isra Aharoni for the support of the APRM and the African development through America's historically black colleges and universities and other diaspora stakeholders. My country supports these dialogues and initiatives about Africa's development, and my country is ready to work with the APRM, the CGA, and other partners in that regard. The Africa we have may not be the Africa we want. But by engaging all stakeholders, creating conducive environment for exploring possibilities and fostering rare ideas, structuring and deepening linkages and dialogue around Africa's development, we, the sixth region and Africa, may create the Africa that we want. I wish you all fruitful deliberations. God bless Africa. God bless the sixth region of Africa. And thank you for your attention.